Lindsay, I'm gonna have to fix this string later, okay?
Right over here. Ow! This looks beautiful. Whoa.
What is it?
Look at it, Cheshire doll.
Oh, how about that?
Let's see, Kristi.
Princess of Power doll.
Oh,
And which
boy.
one? Where's the card? Where's the card that goes to that? Oh, let me see. Ray, for you, you've just turned 5. Sure, you hope your birthday brings a nice surprise. You deserve all your very favorite things. Happy birthday from Leah. Thank you, Leah. Okay, how about we put it over here? All right, got the cards. What's the next one?
That one.
Oh,
Piece of gum.
bubble gum, eh? Let's just take the card first.
Just take the cup first.
What's the matter, Lindsay?
Well, this keeps falling
Well,
off.
just leave it. Don't press it, okay? It'll stay on because I taped it. Okay? Want me to help, Kristi? You get it? Present now? The card, Lindsay?
Happy birthday, dear Kristi. Happy birthday to you.
You make a wish and blow it out. Big blow, big blow. Oh, yeah. Okay, who wants a piece of cake? Okay, who wants ice cream? On the back, they're water paints, okay? And who's it from?
Who's it from?
Working on it.
Thank you. And here, Kristi.
Lindsay, you're being an elf, aren't you?
Oh,
that ever looks special.
What is it? Show Daddy.
Oh,
What do you think it is?
A little locket?
It's like a little locket, little heart. Lindsay, be
Betsy,
careful.
put it down, please.
Is
Okay.
it something you can wear in your gold necklace? Kristi?
Ow. Ow.
Ow.
Can you open it up? Put it on the
Grandma, see
table?
the little heart? And we'll pass it around, okay?
Where's the paintbrush?
What's on the
Oh,
You have to supply your own
We
paintbrush.
assume that you already. Just take one of the books out and look.
Is it the first edition?
Yeah, I've got some.
Oh, I'm glad that I know that.
Who's that from, Kristi?
Those are kind of special, keep in your room, baby Kristi.
Antique
Turn it in the other way.
There you go.
Really?
They're very nice books, Kristi.
And that's a special little box to keep them in.
Just
And you
those
can
books.
carry it by the handle, maybe.
Right.
Oh, isn't that lovely? That's from Auntie Chris.
I saw
Yes,
it. I
put
saw
it
it all
right.
over.
And who else? Buckwheat.
Thank you, Buckwheat. Who's at the door?
You didn't finish all the presents yet.
I
There's
know.
another one.
There's
yet
another
from
one
Auntie
there,
Chris.
you still.
You got a hug for George?
Oh, that's special.
And a hug for Buckwheat?
Just
All right,
I'm really pushing it.
Gotta open the other one
Just a
first,
second,
honey.
okay? Let her
She's
open
not
the
done
red
with
one.
that one. There was a second
I know
one.
what this one is, but I think this is the Texas.
That's the card that
Maybe there's chocolates in there.
Oh, boy. Oh, no.
That wouldn't be chocolates, that's a special treat.
Chocolates are
Kristi, you don't like chocolates, do you?
Yes.
You do?
one at a time, eh? Mommy, read the card.
Well, look at the card, Kristi. Who's on the card?
I need the
Who's
card.
on the card?
Here, let me see the front first. Have fun,
Oh.
today you're 5. It's,
There's a picture of buckwheat on the card.
Buckwheat on the card. With a bonnet on.
And Chris and George, different writing, and buckwheat, no paw prints?
See, she should probably know the name. Oh, isn't that
Yeah,
pretty,
George
Lindsay?
wrote his name.
You give that.
I bet this is something to wear.
I'll bet it's
You.
something to wear, is it?
Something to wear.
Oh, it's a new hat.
Oh. Is that
Hold up,
something
Kristi.
to
Let's see
wear?
what it looks like.
Oh, it has crayons on it.
Oh, Kristi, isn't that lovely?
Hold it up, see if it's gonna fit.
Is it gonna fit, Kristi?
Hold it up under your chin.
Under your chin.
It's to go to school in.
Very
To go to
nice.
school in, and let's see the slacks.
Roll the slacks up, see if they're
Oh,
gonna
they're
fit.
shorts.
Shorts. Oh.
Wow.
That's for when you
Oh,
go
are
to school,
those
Kristi.
Beautiful.
When you go to school in September, you can wear that. I know. That's what
September.
What do you say, Kristi?
Put the card with the little skirt.
Can you put the card with the outfit, please?
No.
Look at how nice she's folding it
That's a
back
good
up.
girl, Kristi.
Lindsay, would
Kristi's
you
very
bring
into
Grandma
clothes
the
right
empty
now.
papers?
Do you think that would fit when you go to school,
Okay,
Kristi?
would you bring Grandma the empty papers so it doesn't get
You
mixed
don't
up?
think so? You can get too big?
And the red ones. Okay, bring them over to Mommy.
No, put them over to the other pile. You know where the other? Okay, right
well,
here's
right.
good.
It's priceless.
Lindsay, right
That's a
here's
good girl, Kristi.
Okay, what's next,
Okay,
Kristi?
and the other ones. Oh, Lindsay was gonna give Kristi a parcel to open. That one, Kristi? Bring the other papers,
Oh,
honey.
that looks nice and soft.
Kristi, bring the other papers over to Mommy, please. Kristi, or Lindsay
Lindsay
will.
can do it.
Lindsay will.
Keep saying Kristi though.
Yeah, I realize that myself.
You know
Yeah.
your grandkids yet? It's only been 5 years.
Lindsay's the
Loses.
blonde.
Oh, is that what it is? That's okay, put that over with the part paper too.
Kristi, where you going?
She needs a pen. That's what she said.
Lindsay,
Good helper.
would you put Kristi's little books up on the table too, please, with
The
the
big
cards?
box.
That's pretty heavy, be careful.
Is it paper?
Not too heavy for Lindsay.
Oh, that's nice. Put the card with it
Easy.
too,
What
please,
kind of,
It's cardboard, Rick.
honey.
it's not a
You're
metallic
stepping on
one.
it. Oh, that's nice.
Two cards.
You're very good helper, honey.
Kristi, have you gone home?
Uncle Alan's falling asleep.
What's new, Lindsay? Lindsay, whose birthday is it today?
How old is Kristi?
How old are you?
It's a funny. 1, 2,
What do you need a
3.
pen for?
Good for you. You told me 4 the last time I asked
And
you.
Kristi is 5.
No, 4.
Oh, she sees her. Oh,
Paper.
I gotta
see
ask
somebody who
somebody
put
who
their
she
letters.
heard
Me do
something
it.
from.
Do you use a pen?
Bad word.
I don't do that. Here's my notes.
You heard it, yeah.
What was it?
Pen.
She didn't know anyone could hear. She was in the camp.
No, she was in the bathroom and I had a little roll of toilet paper to finish before you started the big roll of toilet paper. And I guess the little roll fell out and she went through, or somebody went through it. And she turned around.
Yeah.
Okay, Lindsay. I didn't say anything. I mean, I might have said
You
something.
can't.
You know, if it was in
Yeah.
there.
Say it a million
Oh,
times
yeah, I
if you said
know.
something
I
wrong.
know.
All right, Kristi, you read this card for yourself, I think.
What does it say on the front?
I think you can read the writing, because it's printing.
She can.
Somebody else is here. Knock, knock.
Open it. No.
Just careful, Lindsay, all right?
Did you smell the paper?
It smells.
Just.
What's it smell like, Kristi? Strawberries?
Sauerkraut?
Hamburgers?
Wieners?
Sauerkraut, Grandpa.
Wieners? Does it smell
No.
like wieners? What's it smell like, Lindsay? Did you smell it? Peppermint, I'll bet.
Tampa stand. I can't stand. I can smell balloons.
a tricky
See
one.
this bow too, Kristi? This is a magic bow. Oh, stuck. I'm carrying it and I'll just take the tape off this.
Is that one that flattened out too, Tanya? Yeah, the big one. Like the long one. Okay. Okay, Lindsay can maybe bring that whole piece for Mommy. Tanya, where did you get the books?
I bought them where did I buy them? Oh yeah, the people I used to work
Tanya,
with.
this is from you.
A book
Tanya, this is from
Yeah,
you.
that's right, that's where I got mine too, but I didn't, I was wondering if you'd bought them at a store. I've never seen them at a store.
No.
Only through home sales. They're really
Red
great.
ham.
Don't be a ham.
You can buy them in the employee store.
You can buy them where?
Christy, you've been
Oh,
opening this for 10
3 M
minutes.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
You buy those in the employee store.
Okay, give that to Mommy, Lindsay. Don't squish it. Don't squish it, Lindsay. I want to say
Mommy.
that.
Nancy.
It's all right.
She's
Can you
just
open up the
helping
box
Kristi.
now? I just take it off the side. Take this side off, Kristi. That's where all the Scotch tape went, eh?
What do you mean, Kristi? Don't mean it.
No, I always like to do a good job.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's the same.
Hold it up.
So Daddy can take a picture.
Oh.
It's a Care Bear clock.
Oh, it isn't. What do you say to Tanya?
Smell.
Musky.
Outrage.
Okay.
That's Kristi. That's Kristi, all right. Outrage.
Don't let her live
No.
up to her reputation.
Oh.
Where's your purse, Kristi? I'm looking at your purse.
Save that little paper there, Kristi. Take a big piece for me. That paper smells too.
Keep your hands
Oh, I
sweaty.
didn't smell it now.
Yeah, all right.
It just drifted this way.
Outrage is right. That's nice. Oh, that's
Smells good,
beautiful.
yeah.
Is it a children's perfume or is it just
No,
a
it's
very light?
I guess I don't. Here. I guess I'm gonna have some of that.
Here, save a big piece of
Like your
paper.
Oh,
Okay.
that's nice.
I think I'm gonna borrow some of Kristi's perfume.
That's a sweet.
Oh, boy.
What's
So when you
this?
get your
Baby
bath-
powder.
Powder, talcum powder.
You put
That
it on
smells
after a
nice,
bath,
too.
Kristi.
Oh, smell.
Special
Really
powder.
nice.
How's that smell? Nice?
Oh,
Put it
that's
back in its
lovely.
box.
A wet
Thank
spot.
you.
I think that's what happened. She bit her tooth. She just all of a sudden started crying.
Well, you
I'm sharing it.
Lindsay,
What?
what'd you get for Easter? What happened to the Easter bunny?
Oh, we got his tail cut in
Taylor.
the door.
There's a garbage
Did he?
can
How do you
back there.
know?
Would you put that yellow paper in this yellow paper in the garbage can? It's back here.
Tail
Step on your sister.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay, you didn't do anything. See beside the table? There, attaboy. That's nice. Taylor, would you take this over to Mommy?
Okay, Google.
That goes to Mommy, Taylor.
She has to crawl because she can't.
No, back up,
Back
Taylor.
up a
Back
bit.
up, back up.
Kristi.
There you go.
Oh,
There,
not on
look at
Kristi's
Grandpa's
phone.
camera.
Taylor, you're stepping on Kristi's phone.
Okay. Now let's let her have a little ride here. She doesn't go on this for very long though.
And she only needs a little push
Yeah.
Dad,
because
Okay.
he's a baby.
That light in her hair.
She has a little bit of hair.
She's just got very, very light hair. It's called blonde.
Lindsay, what are you doing?
Lindsay has blonde hair.
Lindsay,
Like
Lindsay.
the sun.
Hi. How are you?
Pigeon.
Push.
don't break the branches off the bush. If you want a stick, find one on the ground, honey.
Oh, Red.
Oh, how are you doing that?
Daddy, I'm painting his eyes blue.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Blue thing. This is the blue one.
Oh. And Kristi, what are you going to do?
Paint this. Paint this. Alexander's can't do it very well up here.
Let's see you do them. That's good exercise. Very good, Kristi.
Take it.
I'm taking it. Why don't you give baby Alex a little tiny push? Just a little one.
Just a little one, right, Uncle Alan?
Oh, that's a good one.
You gotta be very careful because she's just very little. She's never been in a swing before this time. She was a little scared when we started.
Look at, she's laughing.
Just a little push, Lindsay. Little push. Little push. Atta girl.
Not too much.
She followed what?
On a high swing.
A high swing, higher than that?
That's okay.
Yeah.
Are you really a real high swing?
Yeah.
Is that pretty good? Higher?
That's enough.
Careful, easy.
It's enough.
Okay.
That
Gonna
won't take
hit
that
the
much.
tree.
Now, can you pump with your feet?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Chris, Steve, Rick, and Alan for inviting us to this happy occasion. I'm sure you will agree that it is a happy occasion. Ernie and Norma, who I've known for 100 years, I think. It's close to it, but we won't lie about Norma's age, or we won't divulge Norma's age, so I won't say how many years. But I met Ernie when I was 10 years old. I think he was 10 years old too. And he was pitching for the West Ward ball team, hardball team, and I played for the North Ward. And he was a wild pitcher. But he was an underarm pitcher, a sidearm pitcher. Those of you who watch baseball, if you ever see Mark Eichhorn pitch for the Blue Jays, that's something similar to what Ernie's delivery used to be. The only thing was he was a little faster than what Mark Eichhorn is. But we had a healthy respect for each other, but we were never friends. As I say, he lived in the West Ward and I was in the North Ward, and that seemed like 100 miles apart at that time. So our paths met again when Ernie first got on the police force in the early 50s, and I was working at the Grey Coach. And I had closed up the place and forgotten to lock the door. And Ernie very graciously reported the place open, and I had to go down at 3 o'clock in the morning and renew acquaintances. Of course, I wasn't too happy about that, but that was beside the point. Then in 1958, I got on the police force, and our friendship flourished from then. We had many ups and downs in our police careers. In 1963, we went to a convention together, Ernie and Norma and Doris and myself, and Dick Underwood and his wife, Clayton Cutting and his wife. Oh, you weren't with Ruth then. It was Clayton and Bob Sadler. Bob Sadler. His association wouldn't pay for the wives.
The odd couple.
Right. And we had a great time down there, and that's when we found out that Ernie was promoted to the rank of corporal. And that's the first and probably the only time I ever saw Ernie drink. He said, "Norma, give me a drink," and I think Norma, was it wine or what was it? But anyway, he drank it down completely, a highball glass. I never saw a guy drink like that in my life. I said, Ernie, don't ever drink again. Do me a favor. He said, well, I won't. And he don't think he ever has. We also went to, 20 years ago, I was talking to Chris earlier. I think Chris was about 6 years old at the time. And we went to a convention together in Ottawa, where we saw the Expo 67. And it should have been a real happy occasion for us. The only trouble was, Ernie and I got into very serious difficulties with our police chief, because we went over his orders for Ernie not to go. And whenever anybody talks about Expo 67, I always think of Ernie and Norma and Doris and I driving all the way down to Ottawa and trying to decide whether or not we should keep right on going east or whether we should come back and face the music. Well, eventually we did, and things worked out for the better. I think most of you know what avid golfers Ernie and Norma are, and we can really wish them luck that way. He always excelled in golf. I never did. The best ball I hit last week was when I stepped on the rake in the 9-iron. However, that's another story. That's why I'm limping today. He also is a runner, and he probably is still running. He probably gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning, drives everybody nuts, and there he goes, clopping down the street. Doris thinks he looks gaunt, that he doesn't look healthy. I said, my God, if he looked like this, then he would be unhealthy. This way, that is the picture of health. But I don't think I want to say too much more, except to say that on behalf of Ernie and Norma, and on behalf of all of these people here, we wish them all many, many happy years of happy retirement. Thank you. I forgot about that.
I knew I was going to get something this afternoon. I forgot Mom's corsage and Dad's souvenir. Dad, this time it's red. For the next presentation, I'll have to ask you to turn your attention over here to the television because it's a videotape. Jim Kingston, who worked with Dad, is now centered in Barrie, and actually right now he's on his way to Vancouver for a conference and can't be here today, but he made a videotape, and we have it here to show you this afternoon. So if you watch the television, we'll turn you over to the tape.
To the tree on his hands and knees. I guess you don't want but a second career as a high rigger, eh? I'd also be remiss if I didn't thank Bud and his mutual friend Westy for helping me to achieve my now distinguished look. I said distinguished, not old. It all happened a few years ago on a Florida trip, and Marge suggested that I would look 10 years younger if she dyed my hair. Now I asked her, who wouldn't like to be 10 years younger? So I relit her, and of course I thought I had got away with it. I'm back to work for some 6 or 8 weeks. She even touched it up the second time. And I'm sitting in what in retrospect was a overcrowded lunchroom. I'm sure that everybody, all 100 employees from headquarters were all there. And much to my dismay, behind me appears Rocket, Westy, Richard, and in a horrible French accent says, a little Grecian formula every day, and nobody even noticed. Well, obviously the 100 people there had noticed. And ever since, I have enjoyed my gray hair. Thank you very much. On a serious side, Bud, I'd like to wish you and Norma a safe, long, and contented retirement. And Norma, keep him busy. A wise woman once said, after a few years of retirement, you know, I married him for better or worse, but not necessarily every day for lunch. Have a great day.
Also from Jim Kingston and Marge Marge, who, as he said on the tape, are on their way to Vancouver, which says, all the best, taking things more leisurely, catching up on rest, having time for plans you've made and pleasures you love best. That's the beauty of retirement, as you surely will agree. Here's hoping that the good life really suits you perfectly. Good luck always, Marge and Jim Kingston.
First of all, I would also like to thank Chris and the rest of the Kingston kids for inviting us to this really very special occasion. When Chris asked me to make a speech, she said to make it as a friend and a neighbor. Indeed, Bob, that's my first husband, and I are well qualified to speak as friends because we go back knowing the Kingstons, I guess you might say late teens. Myself and Norma were in the same class together, and after that, as very young couples, we went together through the young kids and then as teenagers, and we have been to all the weddings, and then we're looking at the kids again when we look at their grandchildren. I have here a few cards. I was impressed when my son made a speech at the wedding, so I made my notes on these recipe cards. It says here, Jane's meatloaf, 2 pounds. Oh, Bob, you gave me the wrong card. I will speak for all the neighbors and friends because there are quite a few neighbors that we got to know living behind the Kingstons for 11 years. And thinking about this couple, and of course you never think about Buddy without thinking about Norma, because they're one of those rare married couples who are always together, and it's always so obvious that when you talk about Norma, you think about Buddy and vice versa. So when I thought about Buddy, though at this time, and you will agree with me that one quality that comes to mind is that Buddy is intense. And when I thought about some areas that I might mention today about where he's intense, I thought to myself, he's intense about caring for his community. Bob and I have seen Buddy and Norma line up at the Red Cross, giving blood way back. I don't know whether they still do it, we haven't discussed it lately. But there was always a special pride, and yes, they just did it so naturally, as if everybody should do that. I know they were involved in a church, and I know they were involved in many areas where they were helpful to their community. Also throughout conversations, and I'm talking 37 years, it all came out loud and clear how Buddy was concerned, in his words, about all these incidents that happen when you are a cop. And we have seen him touched many, many times about things that he told us about. So yes, Buddy is intense about his community. In another area, you might say that Buddy's intense is about friendships. He was always there when you needed him, and you didn't have to ask him twice. And I'm sure that all neighbors will remember the same kind of stories. I particularly think back to a winter, I don't know, somewhere between 1950 and 1960, when we had this tremendous amount of snow. Those of you remember the banks when you shoveled your driveways, they came up maybe 4 feet above your head. But Bob at that time was away out of town, and driving home from work, I thought, oh boy, I'll be driving outside and I'll be shoveling till midnight. Well, you guessed it. It was cleared up, and who else but Buddy? After doing his own, he did ours. And I think it must have taken him 3 hours easily to slug away at that snowbank. But it's something you just don't forget, because I still talk about it, and mind you, sometimes Bob and I were glad we could think back to these incidents, especially when, one time Buddy shot a crow, and he put the dead crow in Bob's car as a morning surprise. So I guess at that time, maybe, was it a requirement in the police force, Buddy, that you go and shoot crows? I don't know.
Every morning you had to shoot one crow.
So we thought back about you doing something other than putting these poor dead animals in our car. Third but not last,
everybody is intense about his family. We know about his relationship with his wife because I think he even lets her win the odd golf game once in a while.
Once.
We have watched them through the year where of course their family always came first. That was obvious to everyone that knew them. And they're proud of their kids today. Mind you, I'd like you to know that they weren't always perfect, these kids. Young, well, I'm going to say here. This youngest one, Steve, where is he? Steve. Yeah, he gave me some hands, and I can't forget those either. I can't even forgive it. I was babysitting for Norma. I was a good neighbor too. And I was giving this 8-month-old Steve his bottle. Well, do you think that he would scream and pull at it and scream and cry? This went on for hours. Mother comes home at 11 o'clock. I said, here is your kid. He won't drink. He'll just scream. And she said, oh God, the nipple is blood. You have to do something about it. Well, you would think that a Kingston would figure it out and with his gums and one tooth would pull the thing out and have him sell the drink, wouldn't you? You all know Rick and his shack were today celebrating this very special occasion of Buddy's retirement. Rick, you all know, is a pretty good sportsman. He's known to win an odd tournament here and there, and odd game here and there, but I like to brag a little, Buddy. I could beat him anytime at ping pong. That's before he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
The older two, Chris and Alan, they didn't need many hassles. They all turned out pretty well, I think, today. You all have jobs, don't you? I think they all have jobs. They all turned out pretty well, and you know how proud and happy the Kingston parents are about their children. Now they're enjoying their grandchildren. What more can we wish them in their retirement than being intense about the well-deserved rest? May they enjoy their golf games and their trips and their friendships and their children and their grandchildren. Oh, I have one little warning though. Today it's fashionable to have seminars for people about to retire because all these dangers are spelled out. What would happen in your retirement years? And I just have a little warning for Norma, because something they never mentioned from all I've heard and read. You know, I've been living with a retired guy for a year and a half, and they never said this, ever, in all seminars. This guy sings in the morning, sings in the bathtub, sings on his way to the cottage, and if you don't think that's a reason for a divorce, Bobby, we're supposed to start singing now. Anyway, on a serious note, we're all very happy to be here. We're enjoying wonderful hospitality of the Kingston clan. And yes, we wish you all the best. That's all I can say today.
Thanks, Olga. Now I'd like to call on my number one brother, Al, who has a few words to say in particular about our mom. Al.
Do you want me to leave now?
For those of you who know me, you know that I'm terribly unaccustomed to getting up and standing and talking in front of a group of people. I only do it every day of my life. Because of that, I have to stand up in front of a group of people every day. I stand up on stage, perform in front of people, and I never have any notes. Just once, I'm going to have some notes to work from. They're handwritten, so don't mind if there's 35 pages. It goes without saying, for most people that are here today, that the life of a police officer is one of the toughest and probably one of the most unappreciated jobs available today. People know the risks associated with the job. I think a lot of people who aren't involved, either through their families or their friends, with the police, really don't appreciate how tough a job it is to be married to a police officer. I suppose people that had those friends and family go overseas during the war can appreciate some of the feelings that our mother probably had to go through every day when Dad walked out the door for another shift. Phone something happen? Did I hear something on the news about a police-involved shooting? What's happening? Why don't I know about it? And I hope the phone's ringing. Is Buddy calling to tell me I'm okay? I wasn't involved. I think my dad would probably be the first one to agree that he couldn't have done the 35 years of selfless community service that he's put into his police career without the support and encouragement of our mother. A lot of the time, because of the type of job he had, Mom was home alone with the kids a lot of the time. A lot of times on holidays, when the neighbors were out enjoying the holiday fun with their families, Dad was in working and Mom was, well, she was home working with us. Had to make up time in other ways. Now, if those sorts of things bothered our mother, I don't think it showed. I don't recall ever as a child, and I've talked to the other kids, I don't think any of us ever had any sense of the risks that were inherent in Dad's job. If they bothered Mom, she didn't show it, not at all. She sheltered us from that aspect of our lives, and a lot of other unpleasantness in life. That's one of the unpleasantnesses you didn't have to shelter us from. We had our fights and our disagreements. They never lasted very long, and we always knew that Mom was there to help when we needed her. Even when we said we didn't need her, she was there to help. I think to this day she still maintains that I never saw her sneaking along from bush to tree to garbage can following me to school every day for the first couple of weeks to make sure I got there safely. Time is something that, for a parent, any parents, there doesn't seem to be enough of. Having 2 children of my own now makes me realize some of the valuable lessons we learned from our mother over the years. By example, to paraphrase a well-known North American humorist, when I was young, Mom was going to tickle me until I had no more giggles left to give. But the fridge needed cleaning. The fridge could wait. When I was young, Mom was going to read me a story and I was going to turn the pages and pretend that I could actually read. But the bathroom floor needed waxing. It could wait. When I was young, Mom was going to help me with my homework, but she was in the middle of her favorite movie. She never did find out who left Casablanca with Ilsa. Now I'm older. I've got kids of my own and nothing's changed. Maybe a few things. Mom was going to look after my son for a couple of days while my wife and I got away for a romantic weekend somewhere. But it's the middle of summer and she's got a 7:30 tea time on Saturday. Well, the golf course will be there next week. Mom has given us all something very valuable, something that hopefully we'll be able to pass along to our grandchildren and to their children. She's taught us how to give. Not just how to give, but how to give joyfully. All the time, non-stop. Everyone's gathered here today to honor a police officer who's given unselfishly of himself for more than 30 years to the community he lives in. Without the support, without the encouragement, without the fact that she was there when he couldn't be to help look after the family, I don't think my dad would have been able to dedicate himself to the degree he has to the job. There are 4 kids in this family, 4 grandchildren in this family. If each of the kids could be up here right now as I am and had something to say, I'd imagine they might say something like this. From your first child. I was best loved because I was first. I was treated like a china doll because you did not know how strong I was. I always felt there was a special place in your heart reserved for a daughter. From the second child. I was best loved because you knew where you stood with me. You knew enough to let me make my own mistakes and to help me celebrate my successes. I always felt there was a special place reserved in your heart for a firstborn son. From the third child, I was always best loved because I had to put up with hand-me-downs, sharing a room, and never being the first one in the family to do anything. I always felt that you had a special spot in your heart reserved for the brother stuck in the middle. And from your fourth child, I was always best loved because I was your last chance to benefit from the lessons learned with the first 3 kids. And years from now, as your grandchildren grow and learn to know and love their grandmother, they will see she has a spot reserved in her heart for her baby. From the four of us, Mom, of the four grandchildren, we wish you a world and hope that the years to come will bring you all the joy and pleasure that you've given us in all the years of our life.
I think that Kristi, number one grandchild, said something along that line about Mom this morning when it was being explained to her why we were having the parties, because Grandpa's not going to work anymore. She said, what's Grandma not going to anymore? Anyway, now I'd like to call on number two brother, Rick, who has a few words and presentation to make. Rick.
I have to recover first. First of all, I'd like to welcome you all to our home today. Those of you we didn't already get a chance to welcome, I noticed a couple of people, the Parkers, came in late as usual. It's always late for the hockey game, no sense being late for it. And I'd like to thank you for coming here to share this special occasion with us. And I'd like to just take a minute to share with you a little bit about what it was like to grow up as the son of a police officer. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that Dad was always working 7 days on, 2 days off, 3 different shifts, whether it was day shift, early nights, late nights, or whatever it happened to be. So as a result, we didn't always get weekends the same day as everybody else in the world got them. Sometimes they were Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, Friday. Every now and then we got a 4-day weekend, but on top of that, the fact that he was working late nights quite a bit, I can remember that we always had to try and stay quiet in the afternoon. And you can imagine what it's like for 4 kids to stay quiet after they've been out all morning getting into all kinds of trouble. Well, I didn't get into very much trouble, but Chris, Al, and Steve were always into all kinds of trouble. And of course, when we came home, we'd have to, we'd want to talk about all the trouble everybody else got into, and we had to stay quiet because Dad was trying to get some sleep in the afternoon. On top of that, the fact that he was working 7 days on and late nights, and the fact that I've never been able to figure out why, but for some reason or other, policemen have to work on statutory holidays. We didn't always necessarily get Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving on the exact day that they occurred, or maybe not at the exact time we wanted to celebrate them. I don't mean to say that we had turkey dinner in July and had a Christmas tree in March, but I can remember back in the early years there were some minor sacrifices that way. Of course, back in the last few years, I think Dad was up to about 17 weeks of holidays and 4 weeks of statutory time off and 2 weeks of court time. Actually, we thought he retired about 3 or 4 years ago and went in every now and then just to say hi to everybody at work. My friend, Hart, where's your fly swatter? The other thing I recall back in the early years was the fact that Dad used to be one of the only few officers who knew how to work the breathalyzer machine. At least that's what he used to tell us anyways. And so whenever the phone rang in our house after 8 o'clock at night, we knew that there was some drunk waiting downtown for Dad to come and stick a hose in his mouth or whatever they do at that time, and test them out and then ship them off somewhere wherever they put those people. So you can imagine that New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and other holidays like that were always pretty busy around our place. The one thing that always amazed me over the years about all this was the fact that even though he was working 7 days on and late nights and screaming kids all day, wouldn't let him get to sleep, probably wasn't feeling 100% all the time, somehow or other Dad managed to get into work every day. And we all knew that he built up, I don't know, 4 or 5 years of sick leave or something like that, and probably could have taken the odd day off work with pay. Somehow or other, he always went to work every day. As a matter of fact, I find it hard to recall a day when he didn't go to work. And I was thinking about it, and the only thing I can recall that would ever keep him away from work was every year or so he used to have this recurring earache that used to flare up every now and then. And we never really thought much about it until about the 3rd year in a row. And then we noticed that it took place on the day they played the Grey Cup. Being the good father figure that he was and is, he couldn't simply phone into work and say, I'm sick, I have an earache, and then stay home and watch the Grey Cup. He'd have to get up in the morning and walk around in his bathrobe and slippers with his hand on his ear most of the day, and watch the Grey Cup with one hand like this. One year they had a real problem about 5 or 6 years ago. I can recall that because of weather the game got postponed at the last minute. And here he was at home in his bathrobes and slippers, but fortunately he went into remission and got into work by 4 o'clock. Many of you probably know that Dad used to do quite a bit of refereeing, and I guess it was his influence that got me into doing a lot of refereeing, and we used to do a lot of refereeing together. And he would pick me up at high school, 4 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever time I hooked out of my last class, and off we'd go to do some refereeing at Queens Mount or Wilson Arena or Grand River Arena, whatever happened to be the coldest arena that day. And when I say we went out to referee a couple of public school games, I mean he went out to referee them. I spent most of my time trying to stay warm. So I'd be out there with the biggest pair of mitts I could possibly find and a whistle taped around on one side, and one mitt I couldn't even pick up the puck. And Dad would just skate around the ice, bare hands, going, "Isn't it nice and toasty out here today?" And telling me about the good old days when he used to referee outdoors in 30 degrees below zero and the howling wind and the blowing snow and bare hands. And he never thought there was anything unusual about that. He didn't think that was at all strange. Now this is the same father that thought I was a little weird for driving my motorcycle in the winter. I can recall back over the years, though, there were certainly some advantages to having a father as a police officer. As kids, we got to go to the police gym quite a bit, and I think we all enjoyed that. And got to swing on the ropes and play on the trampoline, and used to go down to the shooting gallery and watch some of the men practice, do their target practice. And I can also recall several times at home watching Dad cleaning his gun, which was a pretty exciting thing for a little kid to watch. And this was in the day when he used to go to the police shoots all the time. And you know, the funny thing was, you read in the paper all the time about kid finds a gun and bullets in the house somewhere and shoots up the place. And you know, in all the years that I spent, and believe me, I spent a lot of time looking for candies and presents and whatever else was hidden around the house. I spent my share of time doing that. I never did find that gun, so they must have reserved the ultimate hiding place for that, because we could sure find anything else. And speaking of candies, a lot of you have probably heard over the years a number of times a story about how about 20 years ago my mother, in a moment of stupidity, I guess it had, is all I can say, left this dish of gumdrops out on the living room table. And this is a big story in the Kingston family. And she left this dish of gumdrops out on the living room table. And, I don't know why she would leave it out on the living room table. I mean, if she put it underneath the bed with 4 blankets on top of it, we'd have found it. So anyways, they came home around noon hour, and surprise, surprise, there's no gumdrops left. I don't know what else they expected, but you know, it was up to the family who took the gumdrops. Nobody would admit as to who took the gumdrops, so we were all sent to our rooms and told we could only come out if somebody would say who took the gumdrops. So finally, after about a half an hour, you know, I was getting concerned because we were supposed to go to the COE that afternoon. And so I went into my parents' room and I said, "I took the gumdrops." My mother, a moment of wisdom, said, "Why?" And I said, "I don't know, brain damage. I mean, you get what you raise." So off we go to the COE, and as soon as we got home from the COE, I quickly walked back to the room and I said, "I didn't really take the gumdrops. I just told you that so we could go to the fair. And I don't know who took the gumdrops."
Are you going to tell us today?
Well, as a matter of fact, you know, I got to tell you that I felt pretty guilty about this over the last 20 years, and the guilt just builds up and up and up because, you know, I've heard this story 100 times, and every time I hear it, everybody keeps looking at me, and it just sort of just gets worse every time that we get together as a family. So I think that this is probably the appropriate time. It's probably the only time that I can recall that would be appropriate, that after all these years, I think the truth should finally come out. And in front of all you people here, and Mom and Dad and the kids and everything, I confess. Kristi, the company. And Al and Steve helped her. Now, when Dad and I weren't refereeing together, we were probably playing golf. And I started off caddying for him at Foxwood. And my idea of caddying was to look for golf balls while he was playing. And the only club I ever needed was a ball retriever. And I'd go through the water and the rough and find all kinds of balls. I was building up a supply for later in life. Let me tell you, it wasn't enough golf balls. And I had hundreds of them. But they didn't last me that long once I started playing. And eventually I did start playing, and we played together, both my dad and I as well as with my mom. We played a number of games over the years. And back a few years ago, actually it was probably quite a few years ago, I can recall a time where I could give him a good game. There was a time when I was young and didn't know better, but for the last 4 or 5 years, there's been very little doubt as to who the golfer is in the family. And I've never really been able to figure that out, because he's just a skinny guy now. I mean, all this marathoning and running, he hasn't got any weight on him, and he doesn't hit the ball all that far. He doesn't even hit it all that straight. And unfortunately for me, he also doesn't hit it all that often. Here I am trying to break 9, and he's scattering up the fairway, hitting balls all over the place, gets the green. What'd you have? Birdie, par, the odd bogey, double bogey the last 3 holes, shot 74, had a bad day. I'm out there slugging around trying to get in the 80s some days. I guess the other game that Dad got me into was shooting pool. And I was 9 years old, and we went splits. I don't know who got the better half of the deal, but we went splits on this little pool table for the basement. I never stopped since that time. I'm not sure who spent more of their teenage years playing pool, Dad or I, but I have a feeling it was me, although maybe he could dispute that. I'm sure he played a lot, but actually it wasn't until a few years ago when Dad started wearing glasses that I could finally beat him in a game of snooker. And what he doesn't know is that I made a deal with his optometrist, and he's got a slightly screwed up prescription so that he can't quite see the balls properly. Up until I was in grade 9, I always wanted to be a policeman. And some of you know that, some of you don't. But it was about that time that I found out that there was a rule in the Kitchener Police Force, and I guess it applied to all police forces at the time, that you couldn't have a father and son or 2 brothers on the same police force. So that was the end of that career, and I went on to whatever it is I do now, and I'm not too sure what that is. I guess it's a good thing that that rule existed, or else I'd have probably had to take court time to be here today. Nowadays, I see Dad more in his role as a grandfather than as a father. And interestingly enough, that's given us a chance for a moment that I'll always remember. And the men in the Kingston family have never been really renowned for their shows of affection and emotion in public. And it was interesting that the day Kristi was born, I can recall coming out of the delivery room. I had this green hospital cap and gown on, and I came out, and my mom and Dad were there, and I said, they'd always wanted a granddaughter, so I said, congratulations, you have a granddaughter. And my dad said, thank you. My mom gave me a big kiss, and then my father and I embraced, and I think that was the only time I can recall that over the years. And it wasn't until a couple days later I found out that at the time he thought I was the doctor. And I'm not absolutely sure what he thought the doctor was doing kissing his wife, but maybe he knew something about that. Anyways, I could go on reminiscing for hours, but there's a lot of other things that have to be done yet today, so let me just say that from all your children and your children-in-law and grandchildren, to you, Dad, we wish you a very happy and healthy and long retirement. And what we do have, if you could probably try and group a little closer around the TV.
shock, and we still don't know who ate up all those gumdrops. Now it's time, oh Muddah, Faddah, to enjoy life with each other. Take your time and do all of the things you'd like and always thought you should. See the world, oh Muddah, Faddah, spend some time with one another. Don't forget your friends and family, just want the very best for you. You remember Rick's girl Cindy, now there's Kristi, even Lindsay, they're your grandkids, they need loving, and we surely can't forget about their cousins. Start with Alan, then add Jackie, look at them now, they're so happy, they had Alex after Taylor. Don't forget the day he dressed up like a sailor. You remember your girl Christine, she's got George now, as we've all seen. They've got buckwheat, what a great pet. You may wish this song was finished, but it's not yet. There's Stephen, there with Susan, with their new house, no one's losing. Down in London, on a new street, you should see their house soon, 'cause we've heard it's real neat. Now it's time, oh Muddah, Faddah, to enjoy life with each other. Take your time and do all of the things you'd like and always thought you should. See the world, oh Muddah, Faddah, spend some time with one another. Don't forget your friends and family, just want the very best for you. You remember minor hockey, there were times when things got rocky. Mom was chauffeur and a real fan. Dad ref from the ice and Mom ref from the stands. Stratford picnics, what a real treat. Near the river, we got wet feet. Many years back, with a small group. And then not so long ago, we took the whole troop. Now it's time, oh Muddah, Faddah, to enjoy life with each other. Take your time and do all of the things you'd like and always thought you should. See the world, oh Muddah, Faddah, spend some time with one another. Don't forget your friends and family, just want the very best for you. Now we're finished, this song's all done, and we hope you've had some real fun. Now it's your turn to make speeches. Watch your grammar, please, because we've got some teachers.
Over to you, Mom and Dad.
To become somewhat emotional, to say the least, but I would just like to thank everybody here, family and friends, for all the friendship that we've enjoyed over the years, and particularly for the party today and your coming out here. It's just been too much to really speak about, and somewhat overwhelming, to say the least. I know I speak for Norma and I when I say that this has just been a sensational afternoon. Thank you.
Follow that. Buddy says I'm not a good talker. I always end up by putting my...
I think you are. I think you're a wonderful
That's
talker.
because I beat you in solo.
That's right.
I always end up putting my foot in my mouth. But really, over the years, it's just been fantastic. We've had good times and bad ones. And you all know, being a policeman's life isn't an easy life. But for us, I think it's just been a fantastic time. And over the years, we've met a lot of wonderful people and worked with wonderful people and had wonderful friends. And just thank you all for coming.
And now, if there's not too big a rush on...
So here we are at Tanya's little house in Kitchener, 19 Huntley Crescent. Just thought we'd give you a view of the outside and then we'll take you inside. Taking this from across the street. shot right from the very back corner of the lot. It's where Tanya spends all her time. Every now and then she babysits the kids, but for the most part she spends her time laying around the pool, swimming, sun tanning. Library or sitting room. It's kind of like a study. There's Tanya's eagle up here, as well as an owl that Cindy did. Bar in the family room. Down the fireplace. Kitchen area. Every now and then, Tanya actually works in the kitchen. Pretty unusual. Actually, she does most of the cooking nowadays. For everybody except me. About 2 or 3 times a year, if we're lucky. It's just a little playroom for the kids. Tanya and the kids spent a lot of time here coloring and doing little ceramics and all kinds of other little crafts. Down here almost every day. This is where Tanya comes when she wants to try and stay skinny. Also a tanning bed where she comes when she wants to stay somewhat other than lily white. Whirlpool back in the corner. She's 3 years old, almost 4. She'll be 4 in a couple of weeks. She's 5 years old, going on 6. This is the master. Tanya told me to tell you this was her room, but it's not.
Hey, I did not say such thing.
She's lying. This door is out to the deck outside.
You should have shown them my room first. It's not going to look as impressive now.
Well, now you will.
This is my bedroom, if you can call it a bedroom. It's more like a little apartment.
Yeah, well, we'll try and get you a bigger one.
Go there and get my little animal in there.
Which one?
Behind the tree.
Behind the tree. Oh yeah, this is the latest little ceramics job.
There were two, but one's in the case now.
In the cage?
Case.
Oh, in the case.
To go home.
Oh.
I'm going to have to make another one because he looks lonely on his own.
What else you got in here?
That's it, really. This is my bathroom.
Is it clean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's unusual.
I have never been so clean since I moved into this house.
Why is that?
Well, I used to be clean, but not as tidy. I mean, if I have just a hairbrush sitting on the bed now, Rick's like, bites my head off.
You must be thinking of somebody else.
No way.
Must be Reg's problem. Is your closet clean?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's full, but it's clean.
Where's all the negligees? 64 pairs of shoes she has now.
I do not. That's your wife, not me.
Yeah. So anything else you want to record for posterity?
I don't think so.
That's it? You didn't have to get all dressed up, you know.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Nelson.
Okay, isn't that nice? And what's your name? Who are you?
Kristi.
How old are you, Kristi?
5.
5 years old. When are you going to be 6? Pretty soon?
Yes.
Yeah? You start school pretty soon?
1 week.
In 1 week?
Yeah.
You looking forward to that?
Yes.
But where's Tanya going?
To England.
When's she going to come back?
5 weeks.
In 5 weeks. You going to miss her?
Yeah.
Oh. And what's your name, little girl?
Lindsay.
Lindsay. And how old are you?
3 and a half.
3 and a half. You almost 4?
Yes.
Really? Oh boy. You gonna miss Tanya when she's away?
Yes.
Want her to stay in England?
No. No.
No, you want her to come back? Is she gonna teach you how to swim?
Yes.
Oh. Maybe when she comes back she can comb your hair?
Yeah.
It looks pretty silly.
And brush it.
And brush it. Oh, that'd be nice.
My mom's gonna do
Who's the kitty cat down here?
Chocolate.
Chicklet.
Chocolate.
Oh my goodness. Well, better say goodbye to Tanya and tell her that you'll see her in 5 weeks.
Bye, Tanya. Where's Tanya?
Well, she'll be in England watching this. Okay?
Bye, Tanya. Bye,
Okay.
Tanya.
See you in 5 weeks.
See you in 5 weeks. See you in 5 weeks.
Okay.
Good morning.
How are you? Are you all ready for Christmas? What are you going to do now?
Open up our presents.
Open your
Stockings.
presents. Stockings. Why? Do you think there's something in your stockings?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you see anything?
I didn't look. I bet you there is. Think
Well,
so?
last night it must have been a dream because I dreamed that I went downstairs in the middle of the night with Mommy and Lindsay.
Did you?
And I felt something in my stocking, but I didn't look.
Oh, but that was just a dream, right?
Right.
Oh.
It must have been a dream because I didn't go down there.
And,
Sure.
And Lindsay, what do you want for Christmas? Lindsay? What do you...
Santa already got me something.
Yeah, but what do you want?
I don't know.
What would you like for Christmas?
I'm a doggy.
A doggy.
A play doggy, so I don't have to keep playing with Jennifer's.
Jennifer has a doggy?
A white doggy, and I don't have to keep playing with it because I can take
you girls been good?
Yeah.
Oh, did you leave out anything for Santa?
Yeah.
What'd you leave?
Coke, carrot, chocolate, and a cookie. But I don't think Rudolph made. And a pen and a pad.
Really?
Good morning, girls.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hooray! Look at He left the stockings. And Tanya doesn't got any.
Yes, she does.
Lift the
Oh
stockings.
my goodness. Lindsay. Which one's yours, Lindsay?
Let's see.
What do you got, Lindsay?
It's too like Tanya's. Not any more cards. Look, I have some cards too. Kristi, you got the same cards as me? No. You got raccoon cards and I got clown cards.
Show Sandy your stocking. Show me your stocking, Kristi. Hold it up.
Get it.
Oh my goodness, isn't he pretty?
Yeah.
Okay. What else did you get?
This is some things that I got. There was nothing in here. Nothing in here. Tony, you
Oh.
got one like this.
I guess Santa gave you a new stocking.
Santa gave me this stocking. Look what? There's nothing in this stocking. I'm getting everything out. Well, useless. I better tell Grandma about that. I have a toothbrush too. I have a Smurf and a toothbrush that's blue. I got a new toothbrush from Santa. I'm not opening my presents, Dad. Another Smurf. Look, another Smurf. And another Smurf. Gumdrop. I got another Smurf. You got 3 Smurfs. Yeah, I got lots of them. I didn't put it down there. And I can't. Oh! I got one too. I'm happy to see these. A chocolate one. This is an angel chocolate. I got an angel chocolate too. See? That's an angel. Santa brings us good news because I have another Smurf. I got another Smurf. Sucker. Look at Smurf is skipping rope. Do I got any? I got 4 Smurfs here, Lindsay. And another one. Cookies. Speaking of cookies. And another one. Oh. And a rat. And there's another Smurf. Guess what? This is not Christmas. It's Halloween. Oh, 2 breads for my hair. This is an orange one and I have a purple one. Tony.
What is it?
Dragon.
A dragon.
I got one of those,
I
remember?
know. I was just gonna say that.
Get yours from someone? But mine from one of those.
Tanya, where is yours of these?
I don't know. Last time I know, you pulled the tail off him. Oh, baby elf.
Yeah.
That's a baby elf?
Yeah.
Oh, I got one of them.
Look it. Tanya, you own the dragon owns me. Look at this.
I play with it?
Oh, yeah, but I get up my hands.
Yes.
It only opens his hands a little bit. Now what do I have in here? Now what do I feel in here? I don't know. I hope, Tanya, I hope I don't got any more lipstick. Another job bar.
your present. Don't watch yourself on TV. At least you got a pretty good idea how it's going to come out.
Yeah. Come on, Lindsay, let's go. Rick, you gonna film it?
What is that? A new lamp or what?
Oh, I didn't know that was really on film.
I'll watch it on the big screen too. I didn't know it.
What about the other side, Lindsay? Turn it, flip it over.
Do you like yourself on TV, Lindsay?
Yes.
She's more interested in the TV than the gift.
Pull, 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 pull. Big one.
Ah!
Oh my goodness, what is it?
What is it?
What is it?
Show it up to Daddy. It's a dinosaur.
A dinosaur?
Baby dinosaur.
Do you know how to make them work?
He sticks his tongue out.
Probably seen it on TV.
Oh!
We've heard stories.
I've heard it.
Oh,
Never
great.
measured its
Everything
size.
I have to do this.
Look at his knees.
Oh, great. Oh, no. Some of these are hard. That's keys.
Must be underwear then.
What?
I wouldn't have any part of it.
No. These are all I did in this book.
I think it's a bit too big to be underwear, to be quite honest.
Thick wool underwear.
I'm not that big.
These
I
are
know
nice.
you keep saying, but we just have no
Eating
problem.
all those cookies, I never get a chance.
Hey, listen, I don't like chocolate chip cookies, so you can't blame
Me
me.
neither.
I want to see a trail of chocolate chip cookies up for a room.
Good.
It's not finished.
It's not finished.
Now you can finish it.
It's part of the present, you get to finish it.
Oh, great. I don't need...
Look at Mommy,
I
I
didn't
did
get a chance to
it.
finish it, so
Mommy,
I'll have to
I
finish
did
it when I
it.
have time afterwards.
Mommy, I did it. Mommy, I did it.
She gets most of it done like
Big bowl.
What is it, Kristi?
Here it is.
Light bright.
Light bright. Oh, I love
Now,
that.
Christy, that's something that you can use with Lindsay, okay? Because I didn't know who to give that to. I knew that you'd both enjoy it, and you can share that with Lindsay, okay?
Anyway, all our toys that we get from Christmas, we get to share. You know, and there's something in here. I'm gonna share it. What is it? Hey, we can make a boat.
Next.
A boat. See, he can be purple. His back is purple. And if he wants to be blue, you just bring it down.
Madam Angelo's.
It can be blue. Wow. You want him to be blue, Daddy? You just do that if you want him to be blue.
Oh, my goodness.
Can I show
Oh,
you
that's
this?
nice.
Can I show you this?
It's,
Can I show you
bird.
Yes, dear.
Reminds me a little of Kristi.
She doesn't have a nose like that.
Now on the front of that thing,
I'm not
it's
eating.
straight out of Russia.
What is it?
Yeah, from Russia with
Yogurt. Pardon? Yogurt. Let's see if it's real yogurt. Yogurt.
We didn't.
What are they?
Look, look.
Kristi, did you see what Lindsay got?
Roller skates.
Now she's gonna walk away.
Roller skates.
How are you getting that?
I don't know. Let's just check this out right here.
Yes, but now he's got his feet.
Kristi, did you see what Lindsay got?
That's
Roller skates.
Roller skates.
There.
You quote
Boxes that look like that.
Let me see, Lindsay, show them to me. Hold them up.
Get them out.
All
I
same
think
thing.
maybe we can borrow Grandpa's clippers there.
1 foot go. Pretend you're ice
Push.
skating. Push. Push.
Okay,
Switch on those skates that if you're moving in a certain position, they can't go backwards.
Okay, now you gotta be careful. What did you get? Don't wanna hurt
Big
yourself.
people, that's right.
Play-Doh
gadgets.
There's Mommy.
Oh, good deal. Now what do we open, Taylor? What's next?
Made a good decision too.
What's next? This is for the penguins?
The Clairol ones, I think, are a little harder.
The way you would roll it, a regular roller, and bend it around and stick it in. Okay.
Who's this, Chris?
It's from you, Mom. And Dad.
Well, Mom knew that. She just wanted to make sure everyone else knew.
Well, no, I didn't.
I said
Dad did all the wrapping. I must announce that. I'm sorry. Dad
What are you
wrapped
apologizing for?
for 2 days.
You
for
should
10
be sorry
hours.
that
Did I
should
not
have
accepted a
earlier.
job of it or what?
No, but I don't know that you're
is
going to
this
get what
ever
you wanted.
beautiful?
I don't know that you're going to get, but
Oh, gee. You know I love. Oh, and those are earrings. Oh, those are
really,
good.